Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith, aka the satirical miracle himself. It is my honor once again to introduce you to your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as diffuse weight imaging and stool pitch. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer Cameron.
Hey, Dr. London. I hate to start grilling you out this early in the episode, but we talked about following some of the rules.
Okay, no, I hoped you wouldn't bring it up because
So here's the thing. I've been sort of playing on this podcast like the role of the cool RA, the one who's just gonna let everyone in the dorm just do what they want and watch TV all day and kind of break some of the rules because, I'm cool. But at a certain point, someone has to put their foot down about all of these rules we're breaking every single episode.
Yeah, well,
I gotta start cracking the whip.
I guess for me, part of it's just like, why are the rules even there? Like, some of the rules I feel like are excessive. Okay.
Excessive as in like they take a really long time to follow?
Yes, that is what I meant.
They're very lengthy rules.
Yeah. Lengthwise they're difficult. But okay, which rule am I breaking now? What did I do?
Well, you didn't say either good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to the listener.
Nope.
Which is that? I mean, that is literally rule number 71.
Yes, I do. Look, I know it, but I hate small talk.
I know.
And I also don't know if it is a good morning or a good evening.
But this is why you get poor ratings with your bedside manner, Dr. London, because you hate the small talk. You don't think your patients wouldn't love a chipper good morning to you every once in a while?
Yeah, if they would tip me once in a while, if they would leave just a little tip on the bedside, then yeah, my manners would improve.
Well, that's just a different, and that's just tipping culture. People have different opinions on that. You can't expect everyone to tip.
It is a tipping culture here in America, though. And so, I'm sorry for anyone listening from some other country, but in this country, and I hate to go off with one of my rants about it, in this country, we tip. And we tip our doctors, especially.
To America, not referring to its full name.
Yeah.
The United States of Mr. Trump's America.
Yeah, I know. And
that's a rule. That's rule 34.
It's like a room full of cacti and I'm trying to sprint and not touch anything because this is just my mannerisms. But yes, in our Lord Trump's America, this is how I know that I need to be more proper because that is how he showed us. We always need to speak properly and politely and make appropriate introductions.
And you complain about the excessiveness of these rules, but you pitched, more than half of these.
Yeah. Well,
the one about wet socks, I did not want that one. I don't like when my socks are wet, so I don't understand why before a podcast we have to get our socks wet. But you say it's helpful. You say there's a medical reason.
Yeah, well, have you put your feet into those little water things, like a wash basin, like the little massagers?
Yeah, like a tub of water,
yeah.
Sure.
That was good, right? When you tried that?
Yes.
So what was the next? Is that all the rules that we...
I think that's all the rules you've broken, but I might, throughout this episode, DJ Dylan, if you could blow that giant whistle that you have every time I call out a rule that London broke.
Yes.
Yeah, that would simplify it.
We'll get through this, and then this will hopefully sort of be the template for episodes going forward.
Yeah, that seems like it'll streamline things, certainly.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that was our producer Cameron, and as Cameron said, with us also is DJ in the house. Hello, and welcome to
The
the
United States of Mr. Trump's America.
Trump we trust. I don't know why.
United States of Mr. Trump's America.
No matter what he does, he's still that guy. In Trump we trust. I don't know why.
And later, Cameron tells us we can expect a special guest.
Did I say that?
Yeah, no, that's a quote from you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure.
Okay, you broke a rule there. Okay.
Yes.
You always need to know your quotes. That's a rule.
But what rule?
Rule number 93. Always know your quotes.
Read any of the rules past 85. I don't.
I
That's
know.
sort of. That's a different belief system. Like anything made after that point, I think is sort of its own separate thing.
And I get that it's a religious thing for you, but in this workplace, unfortunately, like this is just how it is. I don't know what to tell you.
I think of rules 86 through 117 to be sort of like the Apocrypha, right? Like it's these additional books of the Bible that aren't really considered canonized.
Yeah. No,
might be some good stuff in there.
All of our listeners are going to be very much on the same page. Yes, of course, that's the Apocrypha is the equivalent to the rules past 86. But so before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So our marketing demographics have changed so that we ran the numbers, and it turns out that our listeners, you, the listener, you are between the age of 45 and 55, and you're also illiterate.
That's right, Dr. London. We track every single listener to this show. We track the second you start listening, the second you stop, and everything you do before and after you listen to the episode. We've got all that written down, and unfortunately, I don't know exactly how it happened. I don't know what we were just angling too hard for the really old people for too long that maybe these people grew into that age. I don't know. But something happened, and now all of our listeners are exclusively 45 to 55-year-old illiterate men.
Yes.
That's you, listener.
A reflection upon that. Yeah, and so listeners, if you aren't sure who or what you are, now you know.
Or the number of years you've been alive.
And numbers are tough.
You know it's in that range.
Yeah. Anyway, so with those consumers, the nature of the feedback that we've received has changed. So this week's feedback comes in the form of what appears to be poison ivy. So last week's feedback was also a leaf.
Yes.
So I should clarify, though, that we need you to keep it to a minimum when you mail us your poisonous plants. So what I understand this feedback to be is saying, like, it's a great opportunity to discuss T-cell mediated responses and delayed hypersensitivity reactions. But for me, the problem is, like, I don't have someone else opening this. I have a rash now from the poison ivy. So that's unpleasant.
It sounds like it's your fault, I guess.
Because I didn't hire someone to...
Or just put gloves on.
Was that a rule?
I opened my mail with gloves on, Dr. London. You should do the same. Do you not remember anthrax?
I remember it, but I guess... Oh, receiving it? No. No, I guess not.
No. But like packaging and sending it. Don't you remember doing that?
Yeah, I guess just my... No, it's been so long, I guess. That's nostalgia, though. Huh. Love nostalgia.
Got to put on gloves before you open, especially if it's poison ivy. You've got to put on gloves before you touch it.
I guess, thank you, listener. I guess that's a lesson for me, really. This is something that I should be bearing in mind. Maybe this listener is just telling me you need to start wearing gloves when you open your mail.
I'm sorry, can you blow the whistle, TJ Dillon?
Yes.
You broke rule number 4. Never, ever thank the listener.
Oh,
it is their honor that they even get to hear our beautiful voices.
Okay, no, that is on me.
They should be thanking us for letting them even be allowed to know what a skeleton is. Like, they should be weeping, asking for more.
Yeah, they should be queeping. And I guess it is the nature of my own generosity, but like, to a fault. I see what you mean.
You're a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a rule follower, but a nice guy.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, so now for today's medical topic, hyperprolactinemia. Hyperprolactinemia is what it sounds like. It's a state of elevated prolactin levels in the blood. Even though prolactin comes from the anterior pituitary, many causes of hyperprolactinemia have nothing to do with a pituitary adenoma. There are many causes of hyperprolactinemia. There can be normal physiologic causes like pregnancy, intense exercise, renal insufficiency, and increased chest wall stimulation. Hyperprolactinemia can also be caused by hypothyroidism, because extremely high thyroid-releasing hormone levels will actually stimulate prolactin secretion. Acromegaly, which we've talked about, that can cause hyperprolactinemia because prolactin can be co-secreted with growth hormone. Cutting the pituitary stalk, that can cause hyperprolactinemia by eliminating the dopamine delivery to the anterior pituitary.
Could we maybe list a few things that don't cause this?
Okay.
What about like going fishing with your uncle?
Okay, yeah, that's to my knowledge that doesn't. I haven't seen studies. Like, it's hard to prove a negative is the issue.
Okay.
I can't, like...
But I mean, you're pretty confident, right, that going fishing with your uncle's not going to cause this?
Yeah, if a patient said to me, I've been fishing with my uncle, my first thought is not...
And they keep stressing that, like, when you keep trying to ask more information, they're like, do you think this has something to do with the fish I caught with my uncle?
I guess I would say no. I don't think it has anything to do with it. But because this is an education podcast, I'm going to be a little cautious about it because I don't want to say anything, as if it's fact when it's not. Because studies may come out later, which, but okay. So,
do you think that beating Donkey Kong 2 Diddy Kong's Quest, beating that in under like a 5-hour span, do you think that could cause it? This is a Super Nintendo game.
To my knowledge, and it's so hard to, because you can't prove it, but I don't think so. I don't think it would cause hyperprolactinemia.
Is there someone maybe more informed on this subject I could ask?
You'd have to call Nintendo.
Okay. And does your uncle still work for Nintendo? You told me that your uncle works for Nintendo and he's given you like all of the new secret machines for the next generation, but I'm not allowed to see it because it's so secret.
It's really secret, yeah.
But you said it looks just like a movie, it's so realistic, and the controllers float. That's what you said. They like just float in the air in front of you.
Yeah, and I honestly...
But I'm not allowed to see it.
And you telling you that much and then you saying it on here is really not great for my relationship with my uncle now.
Rule number 63. Any discussions you have with your uncle can be repeated on this podcast.
Yeah. Can be.
It's an option. I'm not saying it has to, but it is an option. Yeah. And I decided to utilize that option.
Yeah. Okay.
For the first time.
Yeah. No, and it's just the time.
Why suggest the rule if you don't want me to follow it later? That's all I'm wondering.
What I'm thinking for is a clinical, like, if something happens to my uncle that's really clinically relevant. Like, if my uncle has hyperprolactinemia, then I could bring that into discussion. Because my uncle famously signed all the forms for us to disclose his private medical information on this podcast. It was going to be relevant, but now you're asking about his trade secrets. And Yeah, okay, so yeah, the controllers float, and we've had to tie them down, and they wander, and they're getting smarter. Is that what you want to hear?
No, I just want to get in contact with the Nintendo and ask them this question: Does defeating Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest,
In 5 hours.
in under 5 hours, does that cause whatever you're talking about? I don't
Hyperprolactinemia.
even remember what it is. Yeah.
And I can't be
So
sure.
if you could just ask your uncle that question and just get back to me, that'd be great.
Okay.
We could talk about it on the show.
Okay.
That's relevant.
I feel like it's relevant for outside the, but okay. Anyway, the reason why cutting the pituitary stalk can cause hyperprolactinemia is because dopamine inhibits prolactin release normally. So, anyway, certain drugs can also cause hyperprolactinemia, including antipsychotics, methyl-dopa, metoclopramide, opioids, tricyclic antidepressants, and verapamil. Symptoms of hyperprolactinemia, they vary between men and women. In women, symptoms may include galactorrhea, that's increased breast milk production, but it can cause also amenorrhea and infertility. So their menstrual cycles will experience change or interruption potentially. Men, on the other hand, may experience erectile dysfunction or decreased libido. While men may experience gynecomastia, women very rarely experience galactorrhea or that breast milk discharge.
Let's say you've just played, you're 7 years old, right? And you've just played a little league game. You lost 3-4. Close game. You did your best. It was a fine game, but it wasn't like that important of a game. So you're not bummed about the loss.
Okay.
You go to the hot dog stand, you get 2 hot dogs.
Okay.
Right? You ask for ketchup on one and mustard on another. You want them separate. The guy doesn't understand it. He puts ketchup and mustard on both.
Okay.
You're kind of frustrated with it, but you don't return it because you're like, honestly, it was kind of a ridiculous request. I'm just particular about what I eat. You eat the hot dogs. You go home, you take a nap. Does that cause this disease?
Does that cause hyperprolactin? It's just one of these things where, okay, to my knowledge, that does not cause hyperprolactinemia.
And so if it does later, then I can't sue you, right? For making such a bold claim.
Yeah. That's rule number 8.
Yep.
Yes, you can. So those are the symptoms of hyperprolactinemia. After the prolactin level is found to be high in the lab tests, diagnostic tests include a pregnancy test, because remember that pregnancy is a natural cause of hyperprolactinemia. There can be thyroid function tests, BUN and creatinine, and that's because kidney disease elevates prolactin levels, and liver function tests, because cirrhosis elevates prolactin. MRI is done only after prolactin levels confirmed to be high, secondary causes like medication are excluded, and the patient is confirmed to not be pregnant. That's whenever you do the imaging. After you've ruled that stuff out, treatment is as follows. Use dopamine agonists, since dopamine inhibits prolactin release. Cabergoline is better tolerated than bromocriptine. The side effects of which include orthostasis, lightheadedness, nausea, and vomiting. If there's no response to medications, then transphenoidal surgery may be performed, and that's kind of like that can be up the nose. And rarely radiation may be used. Asymptomatic hyperprolactinemia does not really need treatment.
You're a taxi driver. A man gets in your car and he says, I've actually got a few locations I want you to take me to. You're going to be my driver for the night. I'll pay you well. So you think, okay, this is sure. He's got some errands to run. He takes you to the first guy's house. He goes in, you hear a commotion, something going on. Then he gets back in the car and he says, all right, next place. You're starting to get suspicious that maybe he's doing something to these people. That you're taking them over to their house and maybe
playing sports, or is this back to the Little League thing?
Maybe he's playing like baseball or a video game or something with like because esports.
Yeah.
And esports are the same as sports.
Yeah. No, I've read
It's
the
the same.
regulations.
Yeah. So anyway, so does that cause, if you're that taxi driver, does that cause this?
If I'm the taxi driver, if I'm the one driving around and then
yes,
stopping for a bit and then driving again. To my knowledge, it does not cause hyperprolactinemia. I feel like at this point you should already know, because all the causes that I do know, I kind of listed already. So like, to go over all the ones that I don't know.
Okay. What do you want me? I don't understand. What do you want me to do with that information? Does it or does not being that taxi driver cause this disease? Why are you avoiding the question?
I don't think it causes the disease, but
okay,
that's
good.
Once again, it's proven.
That's good. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can move on. Cameron, now I know I'm starting to remember what the rule was about you having a guest today, telling us that we had a guest today, what rule I broke there. But we do have a guest today, is that right?
That is sort of up for the gods to decide, Dr. London.
Right, the gods.
Who am I to say that who's a guest and who is not a guest?
Yeah, it is tough whenever a significant amount of the rules that we have aren't even canon. And
yeah, I do have the guy who dropped me off here.
Yeah, okay. Do you want? Yeah, you do bring in every time, but I guess this time will be useful. Hello there. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com. This is our producer Cameron.
Hey, yeah, come on, taxi guy, come sit down.
Really? You gonna let me in the room today?
Yeah, if you want. You wanna be on a podcast?
Oh yeah, I love to. I don't get to talk in the mics very often. Oh, this is fun. Hey, thanks for having me on. Hi, my name's Stu. I drive a taxi, and wow, look at this
DJ
place.
Dylan, blow the whistle. Dr. London, I'm sorry, you broke a rule number 72. You didn't ask our guest his birthday.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Just we're hoping that it's not today, because there's
because I don't have a gift
and there are just a lot of rules that come with it's someone's birthday.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
Oh well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is in fact today. Yeah, I'm working on my birthday.
Oh.
All right, DJ Dylan, play the birthday song. God, I hate the birthday song so much.
Oh, I love it.
The birthday song.
It is his birthday day! Wow, what a song.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you, DJ Dylan. That was so nice.
Do we have the hats? Everyone put on the birthday hats. That's part of the rule.
I mean, no, I know I was going to say, do we have to? But no, this is part of it.
All right. And then whatever cash you have in your pocket goes to the birthday boy. That's just part of it.
I just got...
Wow! Thank you so much.
It's $3. That's all I got. So, I mean...
Yeah, but one of them's a $2 bill, so that's a big get for me.
$40,000. I just took it out for a big... I was going to make a down payment on a house.
Oh, my God! Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. God, I can't believe you had that much money in your pocket.
Intended for this. I'll tell you that. It was...
Yeah.
That explains the bulge. I was going to do is that a gun in your pocket? Are you just happy to see me joke? And I decided not to, but now I get it. It wasn't a gun or a penis. It was a lot of money.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it $40,000 in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
I can't really keep this, can I? I mean, that's so much money.
Check the rules, Dr. Lennon. Is there an exception for $40,000? I don't think there is.
Let's see. Are you... Okay, yeah, here's... are you married to Lucy Liu? Please.
I am!
Yes! Okay. Okay, well, I actually will have to get that $40,000 back.
Oh, no! Wait, now, does it say it has to be the actress Lucy Liu or just a woman named Lucy Liu? Because I'm married to a lady named Lucy Liu, but the Liu is L-E-W, and she's also, like me, a Jewish person.
Okay. Okay, and if they're Jewish, okay. Cameron, this is a lot of rules that, we have an addendum that we have to go through.
Yeah, let me check this.
Oh, I didn't realize there were different rules for Jews. Okay, well, we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. Great.
Well, it's not that it's for Jews. It's that it's not. It's not for Gentiles. I guess it's worded really weirdly. I'm not crazy about it.
We adopted this. It's not our. How do I say it? So we're from another. We were given these rules, and they're meant for a chosen people that we are not a part of that group.
Oh, so it's. Are you reading from the Torah?
I'd assume so.
I don't know. Is the Torah a list of 116 rules mostly related to this podcast?
No. Okay. I believe it's 312 mitzvot, but yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
But it does say here, I mean, Dr. Lennon, that you do have to give up 39,000 of your 40.
Okay.
Oh,
because of the
I'll
Lucy
just give
Liu
you
spelling. Okay.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I'll give you 1,000 back, and we have a deal.
Yeah, no, I guess we
You do. It does say as part of the rules, you have to tell us what you're going to do with the money, every dollar.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Well, I have been meaning to upgrade my cab. I've been driving one of the old yellow boxes from the 70s for so long. I've been thinking, what if I had a black, an Uber Black, and then I could upgrade my clientele.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Just since I know there will be enough money in there for it. I see you pull up, and it's so loud because it looks like you've not bought tires yet. Like you're driving on the rims, and I'm just thinking like that might damage the rims, and so maybe you could invest in some tires. Like Cameron, I know.
I've been told that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you had something to say to Cameron.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
I know that Cameron picks his drivers based on sort of the vehicle and what they've paid up for and what they haven't, because he thinks that if you haven't paid up for tires, he won't have to pay up for the fare. So
which is usually true. I mean, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it was true in this case. This was a free fare.
Okay. Well, free. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
deal.
He's the cheapest taxi in town. What is your name again?
Oh, my name's Stu.
Yeah. As in, I'm going to assume sort of stewing. Is it a nickname? Because I don't know. Taxi drivers have a certain reputation.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. And this is, I'm going to be...
I don't know what you mean, actually.
I really have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
Do taxi drivers have a reputation for for stewing in anger? Is that what you're saying, Dr.
Let's go for that. Yeah, well, I was thinking prolonged time, sweating in a car while you're driving around, you might get a certain musk to yourself. Stewing in your own
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But yes,
well, my full name is stewing in your own juices, but I don't know if that's relevant now.
It
seems I mean, his taxi
incredibly.
It doesn't have AC, but it does. You have a guy who sits in the passenger seat and he blows on you, so it's kind of just like AC. So I can't imagine that Stu, you're stewing in your own sweat or anything in a hot car. It's a very comfortable ride.
I think so. I have a good time. I do sometimes find it to be hot in there, but for the most part, it's a drive, and you get from point A to point B. You get paid, or you drop off a friend somewhere, and they invite you in, and you get to have $39,000. It's a great life.
And I wouldn't say we're friends. I think maybe that's that's reaching a little much.
Oh, okay.
But you're a consistent taxi guy whose name I learned today.
Yeah, well, every time I've given you a ride before, you've just said, "Hey, take me to 49 Ewing Street," and I do it. And but today you asked my name, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, and I guess that's another. And I feel like we should be asking more about just you as a person, but I do want to know. So 49 Ewing Street, that's at least 10 miles away. So you walk here for the rest of it, I'm assuming, Cameron and Stu.
Well, parking is crazy. Yeah. Parking is so crazy.
And I do have to park, because every time I get somewhere, and Cameron knows this from riding with me, every time I get somewhere, I do have to ask to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we usually say no here, but
that's
I guess,
true.
Yeah. So you found some places on the way. Okay, I just that was one question of mine. Another one is where was, you said point A to point B? Where is point A today? Where did you pick Cameron up? Because I always wonder what he's kind of doing before he gets here. Because sometimes he's, has just hands full of chickens, or there's a snake literally in his boot.
Oh, was there a snake in your boot today, Cameron? I didn't notice one. I picked Cameron.
I haven't checked.
Oh yeah, well you should check. That's important. That's important.
I feel like I don't know. I'm in the workplace right now. I don't really feel comfortable taking my shoes off.
That's a rule.
Showing my feet off on cam for all the wiki feet freaks out there. No,
that's
thank
respectful.
you.
That's respectful. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the soaking wet socks. Oh no.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
But I did pick Cameron up at the aquarium.
Okay.
That's true.
He said he'd been soaking his feet in the eel pond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you have taken
I'll usually
my advice.
I'll put little treats on the end of my toesies, and I'll stick my feet in a tank and just sort of let the fish or the eels or whoever just go to town.
Okay, and then you...
And when I got there, it was the aquarium attendant who was in there going to town.
Yeah, oh yeah. She didn't seem like she had been fed very much, and she was eating a lot of the treats I was putting on my wet socks.
Well, it's nice of you to feed
I hope
them.
she's okay.
Well, it sounds like she's got a full belly.
She's she got plenty of snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's point A to point, and point B is 10 miles away from here. Okay.
Yeah, 49 Ewing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stu comes in, asks to use the restroom. You say never, not a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then he usually just kind of hangs around for a bit until we're done, so he can drop me off back at the aquarium.
That's true. Yep. It's always the aquarium with this guy.
yeah, I'm surprised because Cameron, you told me that you hate aquariums, and so this is all a revelation for me.
They're the worst. They're the absolute worst place to be.
But
to be surrounded by water, but I'm breathing air, that's against nature, Dr. London.
yeah, so I guess why it seems odd that you would
At the aquarium,
okay.
there is a little bridge, and around you on all sides is a tank, and it has sharks in it. Yet I'm inside the water,
No, I get
breathing
yeah, I get
air.
it's confusing, but
Do you realize how f***ed up that is?
okay.
Stu understands.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're like some kind of gilled man who has gills and can breathe underwater, but you don't even have the gills.
Well, and I get confused, and then I start wondering, like, am I the thing from Shape of Water? Like, am I actually like a fish man?
Mm-hmm.
Or what? And then I get freaked out, and then I get insecure. And yeah, I deal with this every day when I go to the aquarium.
See, and I always, I've never asked you because it's not my place to ask my customers what they're doing, but I have wondered to myself, what is it that makes you want to be in the aquarium if you leave there so angry all the time?
Where else would I spend my afternoons? I'm not sure where else I would go.
At the park?
Yeah.
Your bubby's house? You know, you got options.
Park. Is the park the part of the aquarium where you've got those, it's like really dark and you've got like real creepy fish? Is that the park?
That's a closet. I think that's a closet.
Yeah. That sounds like a closet to me.
Okay. So I guess to answer that, I have seen Cameron at the park before. In that case, it's where we keep a lot of our janitorial supplies. So
yes, if that's the park, I am in there a lot, especially in the winter months. I'll sometimes be looking for a coat, and I'll get lost in there for a few hours. I'll be spending some time in there.
So anyway,
does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it answers it as much as it will be answered. But
Stu,
yeah.
I want to know about you.
Stu, tell us about you.
Like, I know nothing about you. When I'm sitting in your taxi, I'm mostly
sure.
talking to the guy who's blowing air on me. Like, I don't even really ask you questions.
Oh yeah, my grandson, he does a great job. He keeps the taxi warm because he keeps it warm. He's trying to keep it cool, but he does keep it warm because it turns out having an extra body in there doesn't really help when you're trying to cool things down.
But it's just as good as AC, I swear. It's just as good.
I'm glad you think so. You're one of my only customers who says so.
Well, I'm sorry. You have other customers?
Oh no.
Pretty rarely, but yeah, sometimes, sure, yeah. You know,
okay.
On a Sunday.
No,
when
that's
you're
cool.
not...
I mean, we haven't talked about being like exclusive or anything, so it's cool. Like, I get it.
Yeah, well, you know, if somebody raises their hand on the sidewalk, I'm obligated to go pick them up.
Oh, so just anyone who calls you out, you're just ready to go, huh?
Oh boy.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
no, me too. I have hung out with so many other taxi guys.
I would think so. Yeah, I'm sure you've gotten other rides. Yeah.
They're huge too. They're like 7 feet tall.
Oh,
and they're great, and they treat me right.
Okay, well, I'm glad for you, and I'm glad that we can continue our working relationship as well.
But anyway, what are some of the people you drive around like? Are they clients? What do you call just a passenger?
We call them fares. They're fares. We just think
Okay.
of them in terms of money for the most part, except for ones who you get close to, like you. You know.
That's how Dr. London sees his patients. I understand that.
Is that right?
Yeah, dollar
signs.
signs is like just too long, so fares is easier. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, but recently I was driving around this guy, and I thought it was a little strange because he kept having me go from place to place, and every time he would come back a little bloodier. His shirt was just had a little bit more blood on it, and I thought, "Oh, this can't be good." But it is, of course, taxi driver code that you can't call the police on your fare.
No. And you have to keep taking them places.
You have to. Yeah, the only reason you can kick somebody out of your cab is if they throw up.
So is he maybe like a butcher that you call to come to your home to butch whatever
That's
whatever
correct.
meat you've got?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I think he is a home butcher. So I guess that does make sense. I'm guessing that because he did have a big cleaver and a big, one of those aprons that's full of knives.
Okay.
And a hockey mask. So I think that's a butcher.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of sounds very butchery, and that sounds so convenient. Because sometimes I'll have just this dead cow sitting in my kitchen for weeks, and I don't know what to do with it. And if I could just call sort of an on-the-go mobile butcher to come by, that seems like a great service.
It's a great service if that's what he was doing. Yeah, and I hope it is. One time I had a situation where we had a chicken escape from the coop in the backyard and come inside the house and get its head trapped between the doorway. We have a dog door, and the dog door closed down on the chicken head, so the chicken died right there in the kitchen. Wow. And I thought, well, I don't want to be the one to cut the head off the chicken. And I asked my wife, Greta, will you be the one to cut the head off the chicken? She said, no.
Wait. Your wife is named Greta? You said she was named Lucy Lou.
Oh! No. Hold on. No.
You took all my money?
No.
Well, wait, Dr. Lennon, if she's not named Lucy Lou, you have to give the $1,000 back. So he gets the whole $40,000. Do you want to fight this?
Wait, I thought I need to read the rules. I thought that he only got maybe it was.
No, if his wife was the actress Lucy Liu, then you would have kept the $40,000. But because it was another person named Lucy Liu,
that's her name.
He got $39,000 of the $40,000. Now, if his wife isn't named Lucy Liu, he gets your $1,000. Read the rules.
Okay,
man.
yeah, I know.
But I will clarify. Her name is Lucy Liu. We have pet names for each other. I call her Greta. She calls me Hansel, and then sometimes we go eat candy at my grandma's house.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
wow.
because that's so how we met, was eating candy at my grandma's.
Oh, so your wife knows your grandma independent of you.
Yeah, we met as children in the old country, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've always been saying that these singles mixers out there are just so uncomfortable, they don't feel natural. Let's all just show up to grandma's house, have some candy. That's how
get
to
know
someone.
The people there. Yeah. Actually have a real conversation for once. You've got something in common right there. Grandma.
Everyone knows a grandma, so you just go to a grandma's house and hope you meet someone. I like that. I like that a lot.
Like, if I hate to just, because if we all made a point to do it, because I don't do it enough. I don't visit grandma enough.
Me neither.
But if we all do it, if we all just start to make a point of doing it, we're gonna meet someone.
That's right.
You're gonna meet some eligible ladies, and it's just sort of that's kind of what it's all about at the end of the day, right?
Because meet our own Greta.
She's not a grandma unless she has a granddaughter or a grandson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear more about this.
Oh, right.
This butcher guy that you're taking around places. Is he?
The chicken situation I was talking about. Right. So I said, Gretel, are you going to be the one to chop the head off the chicken? She said, no, call this service. And I called a man named Hank Butch, and Hank Butch said he would come, and he chopped the head off the chicken, and then he asked me for a ride because he had gotten dropped off, I guess, or he had walked. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know where he came from. But then I did take him door to door to several other homes where he would chop something and come out a little bit bloodier.
How many homes in a given night?
That night there was 7.
But there's been other nights you've driven this guy around, right? It sounds like he sounds like you've got a regular business relationship.
Yeah, I'd say I drive him around roughly once a month. He does home visits, and he kills anywhere from 5 to 9 some things. I have to assume cows and chickens.
Sure. I mean, that sounds like it from the cleaver and the hockey mask.
I'm starting to wonder, was there any overlap? Cameron, have you ever accidentally maybe been in the, like, I don't know if you take multiple fairs at once, if it's community.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. I'll drive taxi pool.
Cameron, have you ever found yourself in the car at the same time as this guy? Maybe?
Man, I'm usually so focused on your grandson that is sort of working as the AC, because it is. I was saying before that it's not really hot in the car. Okay, it's hot as hell in the car. Like, it's so hot in the car.
You just came from being drenched often.
But that's also true. So it feels a little more comfortable because I'm usually so soaking. My clothes are all soaking wet. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm so focused on just trying to just get as much of the AC as possible, which is just your grandson. And so that's what I'm focused on.
Blowing and waving around his fan. Yes, he does good work.
Yeah, he's got 2 big fans, and then you yell at him because the fans are blocking your view a lot of the time.
Yes. I've got to keep that fan out of the blind spot,
so
Henry.
I guess the answer here is that if anyone's going to know whether Cameron has seen this guy, Stu is going to know. But I guess it doesn't really matter if Cameron wasn't looking around whenever.
It's just hard to tell who's in the cabin at a given time because there's so much going on. There's so many fans moving around. There's a lot happening.
I do recall the two of you being in the cab at the same time at one point. I think there was a night where he was going to the aquarium to do a butching, and I believe I picked you up from there.
Oh, the guy, the guy who gave me the chunk of meat.
Yes. That sounds like
guy.
It was probably him.
He was so nice. We were sharing the cab, and I can't really tell who's on the other side of the cab because of the fans and everything going on. But he just sort of was like, "Hey, try this. Take a bite of this," and he gave me sort of a hunk of meat. And I'm telling you, I don't know what it was. It was the most amazing thing I have ever. I can't get it out of my mind. Actually, I can't get the taste out of my mouth because it was so amazing. Whatever that hunk of meat was.
I know exactly what you mean because he pays me in meat used most nights. He doesn't pay me in cash so often. I do a bit of a barter system sometimes, and I tell you every month I'm thinking, where is Henry? I'm sorry. Henry Butch is his name, and Henry is also my grandson's name. But that's not confusing at all. But yes, I think, where is Henry Butch with that meat delivery? We need it.
Have you ever, Cameron? Was this the night? I'm just trying to think because I remember the night whenever you talked about, this guy gave me a big hunk of meat, and you were complaining though that there was a wedding ring stuck in it. Do you?
Oh yeah, and you're asking if I filed a lawsuit.
Well, I feel like since you didn't pay for it, you probably wouldn't be able to.
Against Henry?
Yeah. Well, it's just, you hear all those stories where there's a nail or something in a box of cereal or something like that. And then they sue the company or try to get some sort of settlement. And it seemed like that's what you were angling for. You were like, you just don't drop the bag here. Don't fumble the bag. Because you wanted me to make some money off of this wedding ring that's in this hunk of meat. But I don't know. I'm just not into being so litigious, Dr.
I guess to some extent I was thinking, and maybe this is way out there, this is being kind of harsh. If the Mr. Butch happened to have in one of his killings, if he had taken down a human on accident, then that it might be reflected in the idea of the meat that he got having human jewelry
what are you talking
on
about?
it.
So you think that
why would the human be wearing his wedding ring? Sounds like he just dropped his wedding ring in. That's why I didn't want to sue this guy just because he dropped his wedding ring. He's probably freaking out, like, oh, my wife's gonna kill me. Where did my wedding ring go? And it's like, oh, it's in the hunk of meat I'm eating.
And I'm curious. I mean, if someone was to be killed, a human being wearing a wedding ring, how do you think their wedding ring would end up in a hunk of meat? Wouldn't it be on a finger meat?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a question. I guess part of my train of thought there was that maybe it was just kind of mashed and bundled, and some fingies in there, some footsies, whatever. But then again,
it is sort of a wad of meat. There's a lot going on there. It's just
Oh, he gave you the grounds? He gave you the ground chuck?
Yeah, it was sort of just a handful of just.
Was it a literal
goopy-
hand full like
Was you're talking about the hand that was holding the meat? Yeah. He handed me over the sort of this hand cup like mug thing that was sort of holding this ball, like an ice cream scoop ball of this amazing meat.
it was a meat holder
The meat holder was edible too. That was the craziest part of it.
with the wedding ring on it. Okay.
No, the wedding ring was in the ice cream scoop. Chunk of meat.
Okay. Good to know. Okay.
Oh yes, Henry Butch. Look him up. He's a great guy. He'll come to your house. He'll kill your cow or chicken or whatever, and he'll leave you with a little bit of meat for you to eat. It's delicious.
That sounds great. Because, and I, not to go back to it, but, speaking from experience, I visited Cameron's house because he would have dinner party. He would have, like game nights. And then there would just be this giant cow wasting away in his living room.
Sure.
Like, I'll admit, like, having a Mr. Butch around would have been super helpful. Like,
so much more useful.
Even without the wanting to eat the meat, like, just to divide up the remains and get it out.
Yeah, it would have been easier to remove if it was in pieces than if you tried to move a whole cow carcass. Those things are heavy. Those things are very heavy.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm aware. That is what game night turned into is, how do we get this out? How do we launch it?
Oh, gosh. Well, that sounds like a fun collaborative game. It's kind of like that game Pandemic.
No, sorry. That's kind of a misconception. Pandemic is what we're in currently.
What?
Yeah. So no, it's a lot of people have this confused. So a pandemic is so there's this virus that's been going around.
Right.
Just learned about
Corona.
it. Yes. Okay. So So yeah,
I thought the government said it was an endemic now.
The definitions are a little skewed there. It's still, as of this recording, it is still pandemic, and then playing with the term endemic, I believe is to make it sound a little bit more pleasant.
Because it has the word end in it. Endemic. And they think people are going to think it's over if they call it an endemic, and then we'll move on and vote for them. These politicians, Dr. London, I can't stand them.
Yeah, and you know what? It's what I'm saying now could be outdated by the time. I'm sure, maybe it'll all be over by the time this comes out on Monday. But whatever. Anyway, I hate to interrupt myself here.
Oh, okay.
But we've got chores to do.
The only chores I do are when I change my grandson's diaper so he can get a little break from having poop in his diaper while he's blowing air on people.
What? Oh, you have to change. I mean, he's like early. I thought he was like early 30s. I thought he was a few years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a tough job to be an AC adapter. You got to sit in that chair the whole day.
Yeah. Cameron, what's the issue?
No, there's no issue. No issue at all. But we got to do chores, is what you're saying. Do you want to explain what even the hell
if you could
about, Dr. London? So Dr. London and I, unfortunately, have been neglecting everything on our to-do list, and so we're trying to get some stuff done. We're trying to finally do some of these chores, these tasks. And so Dr. London and I built this really, really fun chore wheel. And every week we spin it, and whatever chore it lands on, we have to do it. And Dr. London, that even means taking out your hair plugs. If they lands on it, we have to do it.
Wow.
They've got to be. They haven't been cleaned in weeks.
And
you got to get in there, clean the plugs,
clean it out, plug them, unplug them. I know how to. Yeah, it's like a router. Same situation for the hair plugs. But
you got to unplug for 30 seconds if you're gonna restart.
I hope it doesn't land on that because I know you hate that one. You say it hurts so much, but if it does. But anyway, Stu, would you be so kind and give the chore wheel a nice spin for us?
Ooh, yeah, I would love to. Here we go. 1, 2, spin!
Oh, boy.
Oh, not this one.
I knew that we were going to have to do this. We're going to have to come up with the town's signature pizza.
Oh, gosh.
We've been putting this off for so long. So as you guys know, there's like Chicago style pizza, New York style pizza, Detroit style pizza. But the mayor has been on our ass about the town not having its own distinct pizza. And he's like, how am I supposed to be the mayor of the town if the town doesn't even have a pizza? So we do have to come up with one, and every restaurant in the town has to offer it too. That's part of the mayor's thing.
A lot of, and like we've had some feedback from, like, let's say the Chinese restaurant in town, and the sushi place, all of these ones, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like a lot of these places say, like, Kitchen Fresh Chicken. I'm so sorry, I screwed that up bad.
Yeah, because the KFC might be attached to a Pizza Hut.
I
wasn't going to call you out, but I mean, it just
okay. Anyway,
that happens quite a bit, actually. Yeah. So
okay. So in any case, this there been some protests, but we got to stick by this. We got to get this done. So we got to come up with this pizza. So first layer.
Okay.
A dough of some kind is how you start a pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're going super,
that's so far off from what
cliche,
I had thought.
That is what everyone does. Is this sort of, what did you call it?
A
Doge?
dough, yeah,
like the coin,
a Dogecoin of some sort. Yeah.
So
Doge. So
okay.
I don't know. It's just what everyone does.
Well,
so, I mean,
what's been on my mind a lot recently is that meat I've been getting from Henry.
Oh.
Yes. You're thinking the meat should be like the base of this pizza?
Excuse me. Yeah. I mean, what if we?
That is extremely.
The cone that you got with the meat in the ball. We take that ball, we flatten that out, we make it look like a dough, but it's really meat.
I mean, that is very interesting because you can char meat where it is sort of like a harder container that you can hold. And so having the base be this like extremely tasty hunk of meat sounds really, really interesting to me. I mean, Dr. Lund, do you have any objections to that?
No, it sounds like the only thing is health-wise, having it be primarily meat as opposed to just the toppings being meat doesn't sound as healthy, but I don't know if that's...
Well, maybe that can be the only meat on the pizza. We'll do other ingredients for the rest of it.
I would hope
this
so,
is the
honestly,
only meat.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll start with the meat layer and we'll go from there. Perfect.
Starts with Hank's meat. Then the next layer, again, the cliche thing would be tomato sauce. I think we can probably spice that up a little bit. I was thinking maybe toothpaste, because toothpaste has sort of a spicy thing to it, and it helps your teeth.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So it's medical, right? And that's basically promoting the podcast because it's medical.
Can I have another offer for just to make a swirl, to mix two different things, maybe? I was thinking really, really, really hot sauce.
Oh,
hot sauce.
Interesting. So hot sauce and toothpaste. Now, I'll tell you what I was thinking. Was, how Italians will refer to red sauce as gravy?
Now I do.
Yes.
That's a thing. Yeah. That's a thing. Well, what if we used gravy from the meat that Henry gives us?
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really good. That also will save on extra costs.
Yeah, the extra cost aspect. Yeah.
Of getting extra sauce, it's 2 for 1 deal. You get this meat and it basically comes with its own red sauce.
So
we mix that up with the toothpaste and the really, really, really
I was gonna say we have to have all 3.
Yeah. That's it. That's
great because the toothpaste will be a thickener, and you need to have a thick sauce if you want to have the cheese stick to it.
But that takes us to the
cheese.
I'm assuming we're gonna have cheese,
again,
which
very
what an assumption
cliche.
to make.
I mean, if we are gonna do cheese, maybe like instead of the typical mozzarella, we could just do like a block of Velveeta or just like slices of American cheese, something like that. But
American cheese is where I'm leaning now. Just throw some squares of American cheese on there.
I would say, Kraft singles specifically being the cheese layer.
Stu, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't have any opposition to what you're saying. I am picturing shaved meat in the shape of cheese slices, cheese shavings, But that's just me. What's in my head,
I know, but this goes back to the medical concerns. Is it too much meat?
It might be.
We've already got the meat.
It might be. I'm really trying hard to think of anything other than this meat right now. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, so Dr. London, would it really be that big of a deal to just have one more layer of this meat? and that's the cheese. It's cut up into Kraft single slices.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
It's cut up into the shape of Kraft single. Is that what you, okay.
Yeah, so squares of meat. That sounds good.
Okay, so
just thin squares of meat. It's pretty thin.
Okay.
The butcher's gonna have to be busy this month. He's gonna have. I'm gonna be driving all night.
Oh, he's gonna be so happy. He's gonna be in so much work.
Okay, but then toppings. I want to say that's when we use the actual Kraft singles cheese.
Oh,
okay.
So instead of just like pepperoni or whatever.
Yeah, we already.
So let's do Kraft singles. Yeah. So I've also been thinking, and again, I'm trying to be a little creative with this, but sometimes I wonder, why doesn't my pizza have any sort of gummy element to it at all?
Oh, that's frustrating.
Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms. It's just something.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And so I was thinking, you know how some pizzas have a stuffed crust?
Oh, don't I?
So on the end there, it's stuffed with cheese. What if that was just sort of a solid, like, gummy worm, basically? It's just all gummy.
Wow. One big ring of gummy worm wrapped in the dough. And the dough is meat.
Yes.
I like it.
Simple, easy.
Unbelievably simple,
intuitive.
Straightforward. And I think, like, you were concerned about, like, sushi restaurants or
Chinese,
KFC. Like seafood restaurants or whatever, not having pizza ingredients, but everyone's gonna have these.
Yeah,
gummy worm stuff, hunks of meat, like they can work.
Well, it's easy to get the meat. You just have to call Henry Butch.
Mm-hmm.
And gummy worms, you just call 7-Eleven.
Yeah, you call them up, have them send a delivery. Maybe maybe Mr. Butch should even be willing to to kind of work with all of it. Like, I guess that's really the hope here, is that he'd be the supplier.
I could help with that. I could do supply runs. While I'm driving him around, I just stop at 7-Eleven, pick up a pack of gummy worms, and we go from there.
Can I say how nice it is that in this town that you instead of calling 911, you can call 7-Eleven, and then you can just get as many gummy stuff as you want.
It's convenient.
I love that that's been implemented.
It's convenient.
Because I was tired of calling 911 and asking them for snacks or for like little bottles of Purell and the great things that a 7-Eleven offers. And they hated me for it. The people on 911.
Yeah. No, when I worked there especially, we disliked it because we ran out all the time. Yeah. And we would have to tell you all the time, like, no, we're still out. Stop calling emergency services. We are out of your gummies.
But now I'm just so grateful that we have this 7-Eleven line that I can call 24 hours a day.
Yeah. And I like it too. The roads are less busy. It's me and a couple of people driving around from 7-Eleven. Not so much police cars everywhere trying to go from store to store picking up stuff for people.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that it seems like there's just less people in the town? You know what I mean? Like walking around, driving around in general, like it's been great. Like there's no traffic, no congestion. It almost feels like a ghost town.
I have noticed that quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few less people around. My fares have dwindled down to just you and Henry pretty much.
It's strange because, people have stopped working remote as much, but it feels like despite that there's even less people going out.
There's even less people than during the pandemic. Like this is like even less than when people were working remote.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool to note. It's like, I guess, like noticing the weather. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just, you just notice it. Is there anything else that would go on a pizza? Or, I feel like, sometimes there's like Italian seasoning or red pepper or something on top. Do you want to throw on maybe some Kraft single flakes or?
I have this image in my head of just like meat flakes.
Oh, wow. I was picturing the exact same thing. Just flakes of meat.
Yeah.
Dr. Leonard, they're really small. They're thin.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, if we're trying to be nutritious with this meal, the base layer of just meat, followed by the
red sauce toothpaste and really, really hot sauce mixture.
Yeah, but the red sauce is gravy from the meat.
The red sauce, yes. Mm-hmm. And then also on top of that, more meat. And then on top of that, the Kraft singles.
Gotta have them.
Kraft singles and gummy worms and also in the crust. and then now just tiny little flakes of meat.
Oh, and you know what they do at Mod Pizza with the pesto drizzle? I love that.
Okay. So
you want a drizzle of some sort?
Yeah, drizzle.
You know what I'm sort of thinking?
Yeah.
Is if you take some of that meat and you were to like blend it up, it would be sort of a drizzly sauce.
That's true. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's better than pesto. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
yeah.
I would love to add that. Oh, and hot honey. Have you tried hot honey?
No.
Wow, it's so cool. And all the like Brooklyn hipster pizza places to put hot honey on your pizza. It's so cool. If we just put hot honey on it, Dr. London, can we put hot honey on it?
Okay, I guess.
Please, Dr. London, please.
Please let me put
Okay,
hot honey on the
Please,
pizza.
hot honey, Dr. London.
Okay, to do this, we're just going to need to make sure we put the nutrition facts next to it. We're going to have to put exactly what's in it. You know, keep it all labeled. They have to know the calories because people could be allergic to stuff.
And are you going to do that or?
I'm assuming that Mr. Butch would be able to supply us with the information because.
Yeah, I mean, I can ask him.
Yeah.
Do you want me to call him?
If you'd like. Yeah, I was gonna say like it's about time for us to finish, but yeah, let's go ahead and get him on the line.
Just a real quick call,
just for like 60 seconds, just for a minute.
Yeah, sure. 1 second, let me call him. Hi, Henry. Yeah, can I put you on the line with a couple of folks? They have some questions about the meat we've been getting. Hello.
Hey,
Henry. Hey, I don't know if you remember me. I was in the car with you one time when you handed me a handful of meat. I was the one. I was wearing the like a catcher's mask, like a baseball catcher's mask. I think you were in the hockey mask, right?
That sounds like me. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
so
the one with the
up?
wet feet.
Yes, wet socks and shoes, and
yeah.
everything else was really kind of soaked. What's up, man? I'm loving this meat. I've been craving this meat ever since I got a hunk of it. What can I ask? Like, what is it? What's going on here?
People.
The people you get it
We're
from.
asking. We're asking.
Where do you get it from?
It's people.
Okay.
Oh, so you have your people.
Whatever.
You've got
okay, so you have your own
got
suppliers.
your guys.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
feeding you people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess follow-up question.
Well, and thank you for feeding us people.
People,
yeah. Like
But
it's really nice that you can give it out for free. But we're actually talking about using some of your meat for the town's pizza, so you might be making some money here in a bit, little buddy.
Oh, okay, that sounds great.
Okay,
I'm killing your neighbors and feeding them to you as hunks of meat.
Look, and like hyperbole's fun, but like I just got to
real quick. It sounds like you've been killing it.
You're missing a wedding ring. You're missing a wedding ring.
Oh yeah, we found your wedding ring. It was in one of the hunks of meat.
That's where that went. Oh my god, my wife's been pissed.
Oh wow, yeah, no, we could get that to you. Next time Stu drives you around, he'll make sure you get your wedding ring.
Yeah, I'd love to be a deliverer of good news. Okay, that'd be great. Yeah. Hey,
okay,
I've got to go. There's someone in the basement screaming.
Yeah,
hey, maybe you can be a guest on the podcast sometime.
Sure. Sure.
Well, this is a podcast. It just might be fun if you were a guest.
You're being recorded, yeah.
Anyway,
see ya. We just had to let you know about the ring.
Oh, he hung up.
Huh. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's probably busy.
Yeah, like he said, he's been killing it lately. Like he's busy. He's got stuff to do.
Yeah, he's about to get busier. We're bringing him a lot of business. This is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be able to give him back something after he's given me so much meat.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and the fare is the driving, but
well, yeah.
So we need to destroy this chore wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to drive my taxi through it?
Yes.
Yeah, classic car sound.
Vroom.
All right, well, thank you so much. I feel like that's about it. We've covered everything that we needed to cover. So thank you so much to Stu, ing in your own juices, for coming on the podcast. Do you have any, you've obviously been promoting your taxi business. Do you have anything else you're a fan of you want to promote?
Oh, yeah. I'm a really big fan of the movies of Lucy Liu. That's my wife. Go to LucyLiuLEW.com to find all her work. You can also go, there's a grandnephew of my best friend's grandmother, who I really like to follow. His name's Ezra Parter. You can go to EzraParter.com for all kinds of stuff there, and follow his sketch group at fevercomedy.la on Instagram, and his other group, Daily Misinformer, at the Daily Misinformer on all the things. And he's at Ezra Parter, at Ezra Parter on Instagram.
Okay. So everyone take those notes.
Yeah.
Ezra Parter and the other ones that I've already... Daily Misinformer was another one, and I forgot the other ones.
Fevercomedy.la, Public Breakup. The guy's busy.
All of those. So thank you once again to Stu, in your own juices. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
Oh, I love it. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I love it. Oh my god! I love it. DJ Dylan, I love it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow, this is amazing! Thank you so much. God, I can't believe you had that much money in your pocket. Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you, DJ Dylan. That was so nice.
My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com, and this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.